त्वमेव माता च पिता त्वमेव बन्धुश्च सखा त्वमेव विद्या द्रविणं त्वमेव सर्वं मम देवदेव। श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तिसुदेशिकेन्द्रं द्वैपायनं सूत्रकृतं मुनीन्द्रं श्रीशङ्करं भाष्यकृतं यतीन्द्रं मद्देशिकं चापि नमामि विद्यै। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। सर्वोपप्लवरहितप्रज्ञानगणः प्रत्यगर्तो ब्रह्मैवाहमस्मि। ॐ प्रपन्नपारिजाताय स्तोत्रवेत्रैकपाणये ज्ञानमुद्राय कृष्णाय गीतामृतदुहे नमः। Pranams everyone. We are in the second chapter. Sloka number 45. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna Nirdvandvaḥ Nitya Sattvastaha Niryogakshema Atmavan. So Bhagavan is actually giving the differences between a karma yogi and a karmi. He started in Sloka number 41, where Bhagavan said, in Sloka 41 he said, Vyavasayatmika buddhihi ekeha kurunandana. He said, a karma yogi is clear, has a clear understanding of both the goal as well as the path to take. Whereas for a karmi, Bahushaka Hyanantascha Buddhayo Avyavasayina. So for a karmi, he gets distracted, he doesn't have any clarity, and for him there are many branches, many goals and many paths to take. And why does that happen for a karmi? Bhagavan explained in the sloka between 42 and 44. Yami mam pushpitam vacham pravadantya avapaschitaha vedavadarata partha nanyadastiti vadinaha. So Bhagavan basically said these people who are bhogaishvarya prasaktanam, people who are attached to pleasure and power, who think always about artha and kama, who always think about pleasure and power, they get enamored, they get actually attracted to the words of the materialists. And who are these materialists? Bhagavan gave them some adjectives. He basically said they are unintelligent ones. Avipaschitaha, he said. And he also said they are Vedavadarataha. Vedavadarataha means they talk about always the ritualistic portion of the Vedas. In other words, they always talk about how to attain Artha or Kama. And Swargaparaha, they believe that the heaven is the ultimate goal to achieve. And Nanyadastiti Vadina, they will always argue that there is nothing other than what they say. And then Kamatmanaha. Kamatmanaha means they are full of desires, they also induce desires in us. So these people, and how are these words that they speak? They are so convincing, they are so attractive, they are so seductive. Yamimam pushpitam vacham. They speak such flowery words. And what about when they speak? Janma karma pala pradam. They always talk about certain things which will only lead us to do more and more actions and get involved in samsara. And they talk about so many other projects. Kriya Vishesha Bahulam. They talk about so many things that you can do in this life to enjoy life, to gain money. All those things they talk about. And by talking those things, the karmi, who is already addicted to bhoga and aishwarya, his mind gets carried away. Taya aparahata chetasam. Apahata chetasam. His mind gets carried away. So he loses his sense of discrimination. So he is willing to compromise on justice. He is willing to compromise on dharma. Why? Because he wants to enjoy life. So that Bhagavan talked about karmi. Now Bhagavan says how to get a vyavasayatmika buddhi. How do you get some conviction on the goal of life? How to get convinced on the path to take? How can we actually get this in our mind? So Bhagavan is giving some sadhanas. He is giving a 5-step sadhanas. And Traigunya Vishaya Vedaha Nistraigunyo Bhavarjuna. Traigunya Vishaya Veda. Bhagavan first gave a fact. The fact was, Bhagavan says, the Vedas are full of Traigunya Vishaya. Traigunya Vishaya means the Vedas deal about the world of 3 gunas. And when we talk about the Vedas, we are talking about the Karma Kanda of the Vedas. The Karma Kanda of the Vedas, not the Veda Anta portion. We were talking about the Veda Purva portion. And the subject matter is all about samsara. Traigunyam means here samsara. Why samsara? Because it talks about these 3 gunas. Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. What can you get out of being in Rajoguna? What can you get out of the Sattva Guna? It talks about only those things. And Shastra says, as long as you are in these 3 gunas, as long as you identify yourself with these 3 gunas, the body and the mind will always be in one of these 3 gunas. But as long as you identify with one of these 3 gunas, you will not be able to get moksha. The body will need the tamoguna, the body will need rajoguna, the body will need sattva-guna. Same is with the mind. But these 3 gunas also bind us. So, and the Vedas talk about, how it will help us to fulfill our desires. It prescribes various yajnas, pujas, karmas, japas, homas, in terms of how to achieve the artha kama. Basically name, fame, power, position, money, children, all those things. So it will tempt us. It will tempt us to fulfill our desires, and by tempting us to fulfill our desires, when we get involved in it, our desires get multiplied as well. And we always think about material accomplishments, sensory pleasures. How do I attain more money? How do I attain more comfort? How can I enjoy life? We think only on those terms. And then Bhagavan says, the 5 sadhanas for us to have the vyavasaya atmika buddhi. The first one he said was Nistraigunyo bhava. Nistraigunyo bhava Arjuna. He said Nistraigunyo means having vairagya. Be a person of vairagya. Be a dispassionate person. Nistraigunyo bhava means nishkamo bhava. Nishkamo means sakama, nishkama. Sakama means doing actions for fulfilling desires. Nishkama means performing actions because they are my duties and not because of my likes and dislikes. So doing actions that are supposed to be my duties, performing them without any likes or dislikes is called as nishkama. And says, by doing that, basically we are acting out of vairagya. But of course we are not going to be fully compliant with vairagya. But slowly we will have vairagya on certain things build up. And how to get this vairagya? The first one we have to understand is, first we have to be getting, without viveka there will be no vairagya. Without viveka any vairagya will be short-lived. What is the viveka? Viveka is to know that the world is temporary, the world is transient, the world is impermanent. Anything in this world, the relations, the money, the comforts, the health, the body that we take for granted when we are in youth, everything is temporary. So we have to understand that this is temporary, and only once we have this Viveka Shakti fully, only when we are convinced of this, then the Vairagya will sustain. Otherwise, any Vairagya that does not come out of Viveka, we call that as Mashana Vairagya. Mashana Vairagya is when we know that somebody has passed away, we feel hopeless, we feel void, especially when it is someone close to us. We think, what is their life after all? Look, yesterday this person was actually so healthy, happy, he had so much of money, power, fame, position. Now he is no more. What is the point of getting all these things? But that Vairagya will not sustain. By the evening, when we have to drink our next coffee, we will be complaining about the coffee, the sugar less in the coffee, or the decoction not enough. The Vairagya would be gone. So that Vairagya will not be sustained. Only a Vairagya that is supported by Viveka can sustain. And the Viveka is to know that the world is impermanent. But we saw, what if the world is impermanent? So what? It is giving me enjoyment, right? It is giving me happiness. It may be temporary happiness, but I am happy. This relation is giving me happiness. That ice cream is giving me happiness. Everything is giving me happiness. Then Shastra says, it might be giving happiness, but remember it is atriptikaram. It is insatiable. It cannot make you fulfilled. It will ask you, it will crave you, make you crave for more. You will be never, once you have it, you want it for yourself alone. Once you have a person, a relationship, you want him or her to be yours alone. Once you have an ice cream, it's not going to stop you from, it will make you crave for more. The next time you see ice cream, you want to have more. The worldly objects will make you crave for more. It will not satisfy you completely. And you say, so what if it is not satisfying me? Even partially it is fine. Then we say, okay, it has got this dosha. Whatever you want to gain or sustain, it will be always mixed with sorrow. Dukkha mishra tattva. It's always to achieve something you will have to go through pain. Any happiness does not come easily. To get a relationship in your life, you will have to go through some pain and sorrow. To retain that relationship, you will have to go through pain and sorrow. When the relationship leaves you, it is also going to give you pain and sorrow. Even if that relationship is not going, the very thought that it might go one day will give you pain and sorrow. So it is the world's happiness has got all these doshas. To remember, keep remembering that is Viveka, and only by repeatedly reminding ourselves of this Viveka and by practicing certain sadhanas for Vairagya will one get Vairagya. And here Bhagavan says, Nishkamo Bhava. How do you get Vairagya? By doing your duties without any likes or dislikes. So this is the first advice, Nistraigunya Bhava. So if Nishkamo Bhava, Nistraigunya Bhava is the same. So how do we get this Vairagya? One, by doing all the duties that we are supposed to do without any likes or dislikes. Two is basically converting our necessities into comforts. So whatever we think that I need, for sure, I need my morning coffee. Otherwise my job will not be done for the day. Converting that into a necessity. If it is there, it's fine. If it is not there, it's okay. Converting that into a comfort. Instead of being a necessity, it has to be converted to a comfort. Air conditioner, AC, if it's there, it's fine. If it's not there, it's fine. If I have to, suddenly I go out, it pours suddenly, rain, I don't crib, I don't get angry, I don't get frustrated, I just take it as it is. It's converting necessities into comforts. So this is nishkamo bhava. Now, how do I do this nishkamo bhava? Converting these necessities into comforts. How am I able to do it? Bhagavan gives the second sadhana, Nirdvandvaḥ. Nirdvandvaḥ means be free from the pairs of opposites. Dvanda means pairs of opposites. So, mana apamana. Somebody is praising me, somebody is humiliating me. Labha nashta. I'm getting profit, I'm getting loss, I'm making some money, I'm losing money. Jaya, ajaya. I am feeling I'm winning somewhere, I'm losing somewhere. All these shita ushna. Suddenly I'm feeling hot, suddenly I'm feeling cold. Or we can say healthy condition, sick condition. All these are pairs of opposites. Learn to deal with them in the same manner. In an equipoised manner. So everybody will go through these pairs of opposites. Nobody in this world is free from these pairs of opposites. So everybody will go through healthy, sick condition. Everybody will go through gain and loss. Everybody will go through humiliation and praise. Everybody in this world. There is no exception. So we need not feel bad that why should only I suffer. That doesn't happen. Everybody suffers. And whether we like it or not, there will always be desireless situations in our life. I don't like certain things. Those situations, those circumstances, that environment which I don't like, I will be put in there. I don't have a choice. Nobody has a choice. Everybody will go through that. Irrespective of whether he might be the richest man in the world, he will also have these situations. So what we have to do, we have to accept them in an equipoised manner. So when I say, okay, accept them in an equipoised manner, by just listening to this, will we be able to implement it? No. We will not be able to implement it just by listening to it. We will have to practice it. So whenever there is an unfavorable situation, we will have to remain, at that point of time, we will have to remember, Nirdvando bhava. I have to learn to understand and accept these pairs of opposites. And that is not only true for unfavorable situations. Even in favorable situations, somebody praises me, I should not think too much. I should not get too excited. I should remain calm. I should be equipoised. So, Swami Omkarananda used to say, Inbattil tullamalum, tunbattil tuvalamalum irupadu. So, not getting affected by either of these pairs. And how do we do it? Life is going to put us to difficult situations, irrespective of who you are and where you are. And there will be always some trouble that somewhere we will face. We might be waiting for a bus, the bus might be delayed. We will be waiting for somebody, the person will come late. Or we will be going out, it will be very hot on that day. Those times we should not get irritated. We should not grumble. We should not abuse. We should not abuse others. We should not abuse the system. We should learn to accept them. That's why there is a particular sloka. Munerapi vanastasya Swani karmani kurvatah trayapakshaha mitra udasina kshatravaha. It is said, Munerapi vanastasya. Basically, even for a hermit, a monk, a sannyasi who lives in a forest, even for that person who goes about doing his things, if Swani karmani kurvatah trayapakshaha, he will also face three types of people. Who? Mitra udasina kshatravaha. He will also have a mitra, a friend, udasina, an indifferent person, and a kshatravaha, an enemy. So there will be always, even for this person who is living in a forest, who is going about doing his own things, there will be people who would be trying to help him, give him bhiksha, give him some blanket for the night, give him fruits, take care of his medical. There might be some people who will be helping him. And then there will be some people who are not bothered. They will not interfere in his things, nor will they help him. They will just go about doing their things. And then there will be always also people who are enemies, who would be talking ill of him, trying to create trouble for him, all those things. For even a person who has secluded himself, then what to talk about us? We are now involved in a world where we are transacting with people, hundreds of people in our lives, if not thousands. Then what about us? We will have much more. There will be always some people who will be praising us. There will be some people who will not comment on what we do. And then there will be somebody who will be always talking bad about us. Even for this Gita class that we attend, there will be some people who will say, oh, you are going to Gita class, that's very good. And some people will like, okay, you are going to Gita class, so okay. They are not even bothered, they don't want to comment. And then there will be some people who will criticize. They will say, is this the age to go? Why do you want to become a sannyasi now? Life is about enjoyment. So there will be always these three types of people. When we speak a lot, there will be people, when we speak in a certain, when we speak, there will be people who will say, oh, you speak a lot. Then there will be some people who will praise us for us. You are so easygoing, I am able to speak to you nicely. And then there will be some person who will say, you are a talkative person, too talkative. So always there will be. And if you don't speak, there will some people will say, oh, you are so quiet, I like it. And then there will be some people who will say, oh, this person has got ego, he doesn't talk at all. So whatever you do, there will be always people who will be on this side or on the other side or somebody in between also. So there will be always people who will be praising us, there will be always people who will be criticizing us, and it will the same person who is praising will be criticizing on some other day. The same person who might be criticizing might praise on some other day. We should not get bothered. Nirdvandvaḥ. We will have to take them in an equipoised manner. And the best example is given in Ramayana. Valmiki says in Ramayana, when Rama was sent to the forest, the first day of the forest, imagine somebody who is being sent to the forest. And the previous day, he was actually announced that he would be made the king. Now, if somebody is going to be made something, right? Imagine the amount of excitement that a person will have. Normally, when your mind is overexcited, whenever the mind is overexcited, you will not be able to sleep. You can check it out. Especially in the evening, if you get overexcited, in the night you will not be able to sleep. Some people talk about even sports persons when they are actually, especially in test match cricket, when they are batting in 90s, the next day they have to go. Because of the excitement, they would not be able to sleep. If there is something that is going to happen the next day, a wedding, an event in our family, it will be very difficult to sleep because the mind is excited. It seems when Rama was told that he will be coronated as the king, that night he slept peacefully. He had no problems. And then, suppose if something bad happens in our life, we will not be able to sleep also. Rama, when he went to the forest, on that first night, he slept peacefully, it seems. Because Nirdvandvaḥ. Whereas for us, when somebody promises us something, here is a case. This is an extreme, right? Something was supposed to be given, now it was taken back. Now taken back itself is actually a big disappointment. If Rama was told that he would not be made the king, that itself is a big disappointment for people like us. Suppose somebody says, I'll give you something, and then next day he refuses to give us. That itself will be making us a disappointment. We will be feeling cheated. We will be cribbing, shouting, abusing. We will not be able to sleep. We will not be able to accept it. Rama, on the other hand, when he was actually, not only was he taken, that kingdom was taken away from him, he was asked to go to forest. And not just for one day. So, in spite of that, Rama slept peacefully. That is the best example of getting over Dvanda. So whether we face choiceful situation that we try to create, or choiceless situations, whether we face desirable situations or undesirable situations, whether we face joyful situations or sorrowful situations, we have to be equipoised. Why do we praise Rama more? Rama is praised because of these qualities. Rama was not whenever we think about superpower, superhuman, we admire that person. And Rama did not do anything superhuman, this one. He lost his wife, he lost his kingdom, he had to suffer, he had to take the help of monkeys, he had to struggle throughout his life. And yet we praise him. And yet we have him in high regard. The reason is these qualities. It's not easy to get these qualities. Rama had these qualities. And that's why we worship him. So, Nirdvandvaḥ. So, first one is Nistraigunya bhava. Next one is Nirdvanda bhava. Nirdvanda bhava. So, first is reducing our desires, converting our necessities into comforts. Not looking for comforts at all the time. Then, second advice is, if we face any difficulty beyond our desirable situations, accepting them, accepting the pairs of opposites. Now, how do I accept the pairs of opposites? Bhagavan gives the next sadhana, Nitya Sattvastaha Bhava. It is there, Nitya Sattvastaha, we'll have to add Bhava. Bhava means be established. Be established in Sattva Guna. Nitya Sattva Guna. Bhagavan says, get over the pairs of opposites. When can I get over the pairs of opposites? Only when I am established in the Sattva Guna. Only then I will be able to get over the pairs of opposites. Be ever established in Sattva Guna. When does Sattva Guna come in our mind? Normally there is a specific time for Sattva, Rajas, Tamas to be predominant in our mind. For some people, Sattva Guna starts at 10 a.m. in the morning. Because by the time they wake up, it's about 9 a.m. And what happens? They go to Rajoguna. Sattva Guna happens very early in the morning. Between 4:30 to say 8 o'clock. And that is the reason why we are asked to wake up early also. Because it is when the mind is conducive to be in Sattva Guna. At that point of time, if you spend the time in Tamo Guna, sleep, then there will be no time for sattva guna. And that's why what happens these days, most of the people go from tamas to rajas and rajas to tamas. They wake up, start working, start performing all the activities. By the time they come to the night, they actually immediately go to sleep. Sattva, rajas, no sattva at all. Rajas, tamas, rajas. Bhagavan says, nitya sattvastaha. Taha means established. Nitya means ever. Sattva. Be ever established in sattva guna. Be ever established in sattva guna. Be in sattva guna at all times. Then we can ask, what about sleeping time? Should I also be in sattva guna then? See, when we sleep, we are giving rest to the body. Yes. When we are doing action, the body is performing actions. What Bhagavan is talking about here is the mind. The mind and intellect should have the calmness and clarity. What is the lingam for sattva? How do we identify sattva guna? Sattva guna is identified by calmness, by clarity. That should be firmly established. How can we know that our mind is in sattva guna? When we do the right judgment. When we are able to have the right discriminative power, clear discriminative power. When we are calm. When we are not deluded. What is delusion? Delusion is a time when we think the right to be the wrong to be the right. When we are not emotional, when we are rational, that is sattva guna. When we are patient, that is sattva guna. So these are the indications for sattva guna. So when we face these pairs of opposites, only when we are patient will we be able to be equanimous to both. So how do I get Nirdvandvaḥ? Only by nitya sattvastaha. So how to be in sattva guna? Bhagavan is going to give the next sadhana for that. But generally speaking, being in sattva means food must be sattvic, our words must be sattvic, our actions must be sattvic. Sattvic means limited, equipoised, calm, gentle, in that manner. Rational. So nitya sattvastaha. Let the mind be always in sattva guna. So what is the benefit of being established in sattva guna? The benefit of being in sattva guna is nirdvandvaḥ. We will be nirdvandvaḥ. Nirdvandvaḥ means being able to treat the pairs of opposites in an equal manner. And what is the benefit of being nirdvandvaḥ? We will be nistraygunyah. Nistraygunyah means we would have overcome our desires. We would have some vairagya. Now, how to be in sattva guna? How to be in sattva guna? Bhagavan says, Niryogakshemah bhava. Niryogakshema bhava. Niryogakshema, Atmavan is there. Niryogakshema bhava. Yogaha kshemah. What is yogaha kshemah? Yogaha means apraptasya praptihi. Apraptasya praptihi means acquiring those things which we do not have. Yogaha means acquiring things which we do not have. Kshemaha means praptasya rakshanam. Whatever I have already acquired, preserving that is called as kshemaha. So yogaha is acquiring what I don't have. Kshemaha means preserving what I already have. Now Bhagavan says Niryogakshemaha. Niryogakshemaha means be free from this acquisition and preservation. Be free from the concern for acquisition and preservation. Yogakshema means, some people say, what are you doing this for Yogakshema? Yogakshema means I keep on acquiring things and I keep hoarding things for my future. We all need certain things for survival. We all need these basic things for our security. Also called as yoga. We have to go for work. We have to earn. We have to get food. We have to get clothing. We have to get shelter. We have to get medicines. We have to do so many things for our family. There is no doubt about that. And kshemaha means having acquired thus, we will have to ensure that these are actually preserved also. Here when Bhagavan says niryoga kshemaha bhava, Bhagavan says acquire only the basic things that are needed for survival. Don't go on accumulating things and don't go on hoarding things. Some people acquire and accumulate whatever they can find. Even when we go to some people's house, there is plastic bags, hundreds of plastic bags, ropes, hundreds of ropes. Some people, they don't like to throw away. See, thinking that the use may be coming at a later date, I might find this useful. The later date will not come, only the clutter will come. And some people have 3 or 4 things of the same type. Watches, 3 or 4. Shoes, 3 or 4. Same type they hold. There's a story when a person and his friend took a train. Now this person bought a ticket. The friend also buys the ticket, but then he buys 2 tickets. So this person asked his friend, "Why are you buying 2 tickets? Somebody coming?" He said, No. It's for me only. But why? Because the ticket checker might come. So he says, No, if the ticket checker comes and if I lose 1 ticket, I have to ensure that I have another ticket in my hand so that I don't get caught. So he's surprised. Then he says, Why do you need 2 tickets? You can have 1. But what if you lose both the tickets? He said, doesn't matter, don't worry, I got my season pass already in my bag. So this is a joke, but what it means is there are people who are like that. They may not be in the tickets, but with regards to watches, handbags, sandals, shoes, whatever. So what if I want to have more? Bhagavan says, if you are focused on acquiring and preserving, your mind and intellect will not remain in Sattva-guna. Because for acquiring, you need to be in Rajoguna. Preserving, you need to be in Rajoguna or even Tamoguna. So we need things to live. But what is needed for our living, only that much we should know. I mean, it's very subjective. I'm not going to say everybody will know what is it that they need, what is it that they are more nice to have, basically. And many of us, we do not have this mind to throw out things which we do not require. We always think this might come of use at a later date. And sometimes what we do, we keep it not because it will come of use at a later date, but for sentimental value. Human tendency, we try to keep things because it's sentimental. And some people, we have this tendency to, the moment I desire, I want to buy it. Some people are there. The moment they desire it, they want to buy it. Because it's feasible. It's within my means. So whatever they see in shop, whatever they see in the neighbor's place, they want to buy. Or somebody has gone for a holiday, I want to go for a holiday. And what happens? Some people have this tendency that I want to have the latest model at any point of time, the latest mobile phone, the latest designer saree. New models keep coming, things keep changing, new designs come up. Every time a new model comes, I want to hold it, I want to have it, I want to show off. So we don't, and when buying this also, we don't want to let go of the old one also. Some people don't want to let go of the old one also. So what happens by that? We tend to remain not in Sattva Guna. So Bhagavan says, if you are going to be focused only on acquiring and preserving things, you will not be in Sattva Guna. So if you want to remain in Sattva Guna, Niryoga-kshema bhava. Yoga-kshema bhava will be always in Rajoguna. Bhagavan says, do not become a watchman in your old life. Because what happens after acquiring all those things, in the later part of this, in our life, we'll say, I got this there, I got this particular, in that holiday, I purchased this, all those things we would kept in the showcase. And we would have acquired properties, home, whatever, wealth, whatever. We are worried whether the children will take care of it properly, whether the children, even if the children are good, we don't know how the spouse will be. My son is good, but I don't know what kind of daughter-in-law will come. My daughter is good, I don't know what kind of son-in-law will come. So, our mind will be constantly thinking only of those things. We will not be thinking about spirituality at all. In fact, Bhagavan in chapter 9 is going to say, Ananya chintayanto mam yejana paryupasate tesham nityabhiyuktanam yoga kshemam vahamyaham. Bhagavan says, if you are a true devotee to me, I will take care of your yoga and kshema. I will take care of it. This is a promise that Bhagavan gives in the chapter 9, which also comes in Vishnu Sahasranam. So here Bhagavan says, Niryoga Kshema Bhava. So overcome that Rajoguna. Only then you will be in Sattva-guna. But remember, if somebody wants to come out of Rajoguna, if he doesn't catch hold of Sattva-guna, what is Sattva-guna? Basically reading, listening to lectures, listening to Vedanta, reading good books, being in the company of satsanga, doing bhajans, doing prayers, doing puja, doing all this pilgrimage. If you are not catching hold of Sattva-guna, and if you come out of Rajoguna, the tendency of the mind is to go to Tamoguna automatically. So if you want to come out of Rajoguna, you will have to first catch hold of Sattva-guna. If you do not catch hold of Sattva-guna, mind and the body typically tends to go immediately down, spiral down to Tamoguna. So Bhagavan says, Niryoga Kshema Bhava. He says, be free from Rajoguna. But if you want to be free from Rajoguna, you will have to make sure that you don't go into Tamoguna also. And that's why Bhagavan gives the next sadhana, Atmavan Bhava. Be mindful. Atmavan means be alert. What is alert? What is Tamoguna? Laziness, sleepy, always being in delusion, not thinking clearly. When we say Atmavan Bhava, it's the opposite of it. Being alert, not being in Tamoguna. Shankaracharya writes, Apramattah Bhava. Apramattah Bhava means do not be careless. Carelessness is a quality of Tamoguna. Be free from Tamoguna. Be alert. Why be alert? Because we might take wrong decisions. Whenever we are not conscious of what we are going to take, we will take wrong decisions. We might miscalculate. So no person, no situation should be occupying our mind when we want to take proper decisions. What is Tamoguna? Basically, as I said, laziness, delusion, carelessness. Bhagavan says, be free from them. Be free from Tamoguna. So these are the 5 sadhanas or the 5 steps of sadhanas. For what? for getting vyavasayatmika buddhi, for having a clarity on the goal and the path. Now let us see from stepwise how if we go from the last step onwards, or rather Bhagavan went here, if not to get there, next, we will go from the first step onwards. He said 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We will go from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. First one, Atmavan Bhava. Free from Tamoguna. Be alert. By being alert, the mind will be free from Tamoguna. Then it will go into Rajoguna. Bhagavan says, Niryoga Kshema Bhava. Be free from Rajoguna. Be free from the concern for acquisition and preservation. Always trying to accumulate and hoard. Then what? If I am free from there, I will be Nitya Sattvastaha. I will be ever established in Sattvaguna. A jnani is not in Sattvaguna. A jnani transcends even Sattvaguna. In chapter 14, Bhagavan will talk about Guna Atita. Jnani to be Gunatita. Gunatita means Guna Atita. One who has transcended all the three gunas. Until the time that we transcend the Sattva Guna also, until the time we transcend all these three gunas, we have to be in Sattva. And if a person is in Sattva, what will he be? Nirdvandvaḥ. He will be free from the hold from these pairs of opposites. Dvandvatmaka Jagat. He would cross the pairs of opposites. If he is crossing the pairs of opposites, what will happen? Nistraiganyo bhava. Nishkamo bhava means we would have overcome the desires. There will be no demands. Whatever life has to offer, we will accept it. We will lead our life. And by doing that, what will we get? Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. We will have clarity on the sadhyam and the sadhana. And we will follow the sadhana. We will reach the sadhyam. We will attain moksha. So we should follow these 5 sadhanas. Even if we are not able to fully follow on every sadhana, we should at least follow a little bit of each. Whenever there is an unfavorable situation, try to remember, accept it. Be calm. Whenever you are taking a decision, be alert. Whenever you are awake, be alert. Do not always think about how to accumulate relationships, how to accumulate network, how to accumulate friends, how to accumulate money, how to accumulate power, how to retain power. Do not always think about that. Whenever something that we like does not happen, be equipoised. Whenever something happens that we like, also be equipoised. Do not jump. Do not get overexcited. So those are the ways that we try to follow this. So Bhagavan says, in the next sloka, Bhagavan is going to give an advice on how to become a karma yogi. How one can become a karma yogi. The greatness of karma yoga. The greatness of karma yogi in the next sloka. So we will see the next sloka now. Sloka number 46. Yavanartha udapane sarvatah sampludodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. Yavanartha udapane sarvatah sampludodake tavan sarveshu vedeshu brahmanasya vijanatah. So this is the essence of this sloka is basically karma yoga will ultimately lead to moksha. That is the essence of this sloka. The sloka says, if you keep following karma yoga, it will ultimately lead you to moksha. Though karma yoga is the first step, it is like an escalator. Once you get onto the escalator within karma yoga, if you keep doing it, automatically the Bhagavan and the universe will conspire and take you to moksha. So Bhagavan gives an example to articulate that. He says, the karma kanda of the Vedas will not be of any benefit for whom? For a person who has attained jnana. For a person who has attained jnana, the karma kanda of the Vedas will not be of any use. The Vedas will not be of any use. For a person to be a karma yogi and then he attains jnana, what would have happened for him? Being a karma yogi, and until the time he attains jnana, he would have sacrificed a lot of bhogas. He would have sacrificed a lot of enjoyment. He would have got control over food. He would have had control over senses. He would have had control over his mind. So there will be food control, body sense control, mind control, what we call as samaha, damaha, all those things he would have gone. Now what will happen when this person goes through these sadhanas? Others who are looking at him will say, oh my God, poor guy, this fellow, he is not enjoying his life. Look at him, he is suffering. And that is what we do. Sometimes we do, even when these people, when they look at the sannyasis, and that too young sannyasis, they look at that young sannyasis with a pity, thinking, what sort of problem this person should have had in his life that he decided to become a monk. He decided to take up sannyasa. He should have had lots of problems, issues. Because they look at this person, whether it be a sannyasi or a karma yogi or a person in the spiritual path, and they look at this person and think, oh, he is not enjoying the pleasures of life. They sympathize with him. They think, bhava. He says, he's got nobody, no children. Who will take care of him in his life? What a boring drag life that he will have. He cannot wear fashionable clothes. Sannyasis cannot wear fashionable clothes. There is only one color. They cannot have multiple hairstyles. And they cannot wear jewelry. What sort of life? What a meaningless life. But here what Bhagavan says here is, a person who has sacrificed small pleasures, these are all considered as sitrinbam. In Tamil we say sitrinbam, or small pleasures. All these sensory pleasures are called as sitrinbam. For a person who has sacrificed these small pleasures, Bhagavan says, he attains contentment at his mind, in his mind. He attains contentment in his mind, and that contentment is total. It's a total contentment. In other words, Bhagavan says the benefit of sacrificing small pleasures by a karma yogi, by following karma yoga, and then he comes to jnana yoga, performs all the sadhanas, he has sacrificed all these small pleasures. The benefit he gets is immense. He gets limitless happiness. Whatever happiness that these small pleasures can give are no way comparable to the ultimate pleasure that moksha can give. And there is a story of a king, who sacrifices his kingdom. He becomes a sannyasi monk, and he wanders into the forest. And while traveling around, when he traveled around, one of the neighboring kings He invited him, he welcomed him, he gave him respects, and he was, he was in awe of him. He was like, I'm truly, I feel that you've done something great. So the monk asked him, why are you looking at me like that? So the neighboring king said, you are so great. You have sacrificed all the bhogas. You have sacrificed your kingdom, your wealth, your jewelry, your good food, the pleasure, the happiness, the comforts. Everything you have given up, and you have taken up sannyasa. You become a monk. Isn't it something to be awe of? The sannyasi or the monk, he laughed. He said, actually, you know what? You guys are even bigger sannyas or renunciate than me. You are even bigger renunciate than me. Because I just sacrificed all these things, whatever small pleasures that you mentioned, I sacrificed only those small pleasures, whatever you are mentioning, for the sake of ultimate happiness. Whereas you are willing to forego the ultimate happiness for the sake of this alpa sukha. You do not want this ultimate happiness, you are willing to forego that because you want this small happiness. And now tell me, who is the bigger sacrificer? So there goes the story. So in fact in Taittiriya Upanishad, I don't have the book right now, in Taittiriya Upanishad, the happiness is graded. And the Brahmananda is given the highest. There are grades. There is one Manasa Sukha, that from one Manasa to Deva Sukha, there will be multiple grades. Maybe in the next class I try to quote that. But the happiness that Moksha gives is limitless. So Bhagavan here says, a jnani does not need the karma kanda of Vedas. Why? Because the karma kanda of Vedas can give only arthakama sukha. Whereas a jnani gets already complete contentment. Purna niraivu. Purna mada. He gets much more happiness than what little he has sacrificed. He has sacrificed only a little. He has got much more. And Bhagavan gives an example to establish that particular fact, that we will see in the next class. Any questions or comments? If not, we will see again in the next class. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.